Or sitting at a red light, it turns green. And you watch the same tiny tragedy you've seen 10,000 times. The first car moves, a beat later the second, a beat later the third. By the time the ripple reaches you, the light is already yellow, then red. You didn't move an inch and you missed it. If every car had launched at the exact same instant, all of you would have sailed straight through. So here's the uncomfortable thing this video is going to prove. Traffic is not a car problem, it's a you problem. The enemy was never the number of cars. It's coordination. Because we are, to put it kindly, monkeys behind the wheel. Our reaction time is around 1.5 seconds, and our attention span is that of a startled squirrel. Even if I lined you up and counted 3, 2, 1, go, you would not move together. Someone checks their phone, someone's daydreaming, someone just hesitates. That half-second of human lag multiplied down a whole line of cars is the entire reason you're late, and it compounds. Every extra beat of delay means fewer cars squeeze through before the light flips. When one intersection can't drain fast enough, its overflow spills backward and clogs the intersection behind it. That one backs up into the next. Do that across a whole city grid and you get gridlock, a cascade that takes hours to unwind from a jam that started with a single slow driver. The rule is simple and brutal. More intersections means more coordination, and more coordination means more traffic. So how do you kill a coordination problem? You delete the thing that causes it. And that is the entire secret ambition of the highway. No cross streets, no red lights, merges and splits, sure, but nowhere that one river of traffic has to stop and negotiate with another. No stopping, no coordinating, no traffic. At least that's the theory. Reality has some notes. For one, highways don't exist in a vacuum. The moment an off-ramp dumps you onto a normal road with a normal traffic light, that light can only release so many cars per green. Human reaction times again. And the leftover queue backs up the ramp and onto the highway itself. But here is the part that should genuinely bother you. Even a perfect highway with no intersections at all will still jam. Traffic can appear out of nowhere. Picture a single-lane road, cars flowing along happy. Now a chicken wanders across it. The first driver taps the brake, no big deal, but the driver behind isn't watching closely, notices late, and brakes a little harder than she needed to. The driver behind him does the same, harder still. 6 cars back, someone slams to a complete stop. The chicken, meanwhile, strolled off into a field minutes ago, blissfully unaware it just detonated a bomb. It left behind a phantom intersection. A full dead stop on a road with nothing there. And this is that thing, you know the one. You crawl along the motorway for 40 minutes, certain there's a fiery pileup up ahead. And then the traffic just evaporates. Open road, no wreckage, no reason. You slump back with relief. Or if you're honest, a tiny flicker of disappointment. You just drove through a ghost, and the thing that made it was long gone before you ever hit the brakes. Here's what's strange. That phantom doesn't sit still, it crawls. As fresh cars reach the back and stop, and cars at the front finally accelerate away, the whole clot slides backward down the road, upstream against the flow of traffic, at around 15 miles an hour. Scientists have a wonderfully disgusting name for this, a traffic snake. It eats cars at its tail and excretes them out its head. And it can slither for miles, while every car trapped inside it swears there's a crash up ahead. Physicists actually model these like waves rolling through a fluid and call them jamitons. And here's the proof they're real. In 2008, Japanese researchers put 22 cars on a circular track and asked everyone to drive a steady 30. For about a minute, paradise. Then inevitably one tiny wobble. One driver drifting a hair too close and lifting off the gas. That wobble rippled backward, and with no obstacle, no chicken, no cause at all, the whole ring seized into a jam. On a loop, the snake never dies. It just eats its own tail forever. An Ouroboros of brake lights. On a normal highway, the snake isn't immortal, but it is stubborn. It grows when cars arrive at its tail faster than they escape the head, and shrinks when they escape faster than they arrive. It only dies the instant the last trapped car accelerates away before a new one has to stop. Which means the jam can live for hours after the thing that started it is gone. And on a multi-lane highway, you don't even need a chicken. All it takes is one impatient driver knifing across 2 lanes into a gap that's a little too tight. The car he cut off lifts off the gas. The car behind that one brakes harder, and the wave is born. A snake conceived by nothing but a single lane change, living for hours, stretching for miles. That aggressive weave that feels like it's getting you ahead is personally manufacturing the jam you're about to sit in. So can we fix any of this with our soft little monkey brains? A bit. There's exactly one rule that helps, and it's almost insultingly simple. Keep the same distance from the car in front as from the car behind. Sit in the middle of the gap. Always, tailgating is the real enemy. Not just because it causes crashes, but because a tailgater has no room to absorb a brake tap, so he overbrakes and gives birth to a snake. Ride in the middle and you give yourself the most time to react smoothly. And you hand the driver behind you the most time, too. In a jam, a whole road full of middle riders would gently pull the snake apart. And that's it. That's the simple solution to traffic. All we have to do is get every single human on Earth to stop tailgating, ride perfectly centered, and accelerate in flawless, silent unison. Maybe share this video and we'll all fix it together. The end? Yeah, no. Wishing that people will suddenly become better than they are is not a plan. It has never once worked for anything. The honest fix was never better people. It's taking the people out. Because every problem in this entire video traces back to one flaw. The wet, distractible, slow-reacting animal in the driver's seat. Replace that animal with a computer and the flaw disappears. A self-driving car doesn't daydream. It rides dead center by default. And it can launch off a green light at the very same millisecond as every car ahead of it. The whole line moving as one solid block, the way a train does. Remember that circular track that jammed itself? Researchers ran it again, but this time they slipped one self-driving car into the ring of 20 humans. That single calm machine, quietly refusing to overbrake, smoothed the wave clean out of existence, and it cut everyone's fuel use by around 40%. One robot dissolving a jam that 20 humans couldn't stop making. And once the humans are gone, which frankly we should do anyway, you can throw the traffic light away entirely. Think about what a traffic light actually is. A crude way for drivers on one road to talk to drivers on another. Red means stop, we're coming through. Green means your turn. That's the whole conversation, and it's so wasteful it forces entire lines of cars to sit doing nothing. But self-driving cars talk to each other directly, at the speed of light. 1,000 negotiations a second. They don't stop and take turns. They interleave, sliding through each other's gaps like a zipper, an intersection with no light and no stopping at all. Engineers at MIT modeled exactly this and found it could roughly double how many cars one intersection can handle. Just like the highway, the best intersection is no intersection. The traffic snake, the phantom jam, the gridlock cascade, every one of them is born from the same thing. And it isn't the cars, and it isn't the roads, it's the reaction time, the wandering attention, the impatience, it's us. The fundamental problem of traffic, the one you watch unfold at every green light, is like the fundamental problem with a great many things, people. So the real solution to traffic is the one nobody wants to hear. No more monkeys driving cars. And if handing the keys to the machines makes you a little nervous, good. Because that's the real next question, isn't it? What happens the day the cars decide they don't need us for anything else either? But that's a video for another time. For now, just remember this the next time you're trapped in a phantom jam with no crash in sight. You are not stuck in traffic. You are traffic.